as we gear up for what's looking like it's going to be another wave. We'll see, hopefully not, but the numbers have been going up recently. There's been a renewed focus on the misinformation that's being spread. You've probably heard quite a bit, even from the Biden administration, criticizing Facebook for allowing misinformation to be spread. Then the right attacked the Biden administration, seemingly coming to the defense of Facebook, even though they believe that big tech's the big issue. Anyway, in this case, they were more mad at the misinformation of Biden, because remember, if Fauci said something that was wrong about masks 16 months ago, then nothing else that has ever been said matters. They can just turn to that and say, thus it's all equal. So, but what about Fox News? Because as we've been telling you, their vaccine attacks against the vaccination have not gone away, even as more and more people are getting sick. Recently, Tucker Carlson had a guest on who said that the vaccines are declining in effectiveness very quickly, which is very, very not true. That's the Alex Berenson guy that once wrote for the New York Times. And even though the right says that the New York Times is fake, they bring this guy on and continually talk about how he used to work there as if that's supposed to be some sort of credit for him. But anyway, Tucker Carlson brought him on to say that. And he will be brought on again in the future. Now, Tucker Carlson will never say the vaccine will kill you, don't take it, because that might land him in a courtroom, but he will bring on endless guests who will say, there's questions, concerns, is it effective? I don't know, why is nobody answering our questions? And that is how you result in many of these people not trusting the vaccine. And I wanna give you another example of it, because it's not just Tucker Carlson. Here's a back and forth between Matt Bennett and Charlie Hurt about why people don't trust the vaccine.
What is happening, the people who are dying, the people who are filling up our hospitals are unvaccinated, and many of them are there because people like Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida and other all Republican politicians are telling them that the vaccines might not be safe, that they shouldn't listen to public health experts like Dr. Fauci. They're selling t-shirts on DeSantis's website attacking Dr. Fauci. That is the problem. That is how misinformation gets spread, and it's very, very dangerous.
Charlie,
Go ahead.
No, misinformation comes when people like you try to politicize a disease that is 99.999% survivable. That's the problem here. And when politicians and people who work for politicians choose to take something like a pandemic and turn it into a political cudgel in order to get more power, that's how people wind up being misinformed, and that's how people wind up being very, very skeptical about this, about what you say is a very, is the solution to all of this. If you believe this is the solution to all of this, then allow open, free, fair debate and let people get their questions answered. That is the way to health for everyone.
Okay. So it's super survivable, aside for the 600,000 plus Americans that died from it. We'll ignore that and we'll pretend that it's super survivable. But yeah, so Francesca, it's the left has been politicizing it. The fact that a Republican governor made shirts attacking Dr. Fauci, that is not politicizing it, notably. And people's suspicion, their questions, it has nothing to do with anything except that the Biden administration has been politicizing it. That is what, again, a guest is being brought on to say. Not the hosts. Fox doesn't want to get sued or whatever, but they will continually bring on guests to say that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's devastating to watch people parrot these lines continually, and still when we have the Delta variant that is far more contagious and potentially even more deadly, and we don't know that, but it might be more deadly. We know it spreads faster than regular COVID. But of course, this guy has clearly been vaccinated, but he knows that the line he's got to parrot is we must foment misinformation and distrust in the current government, in the vaccine rollout, even though Trump was the one who says that he should get credit for it. Why not just give Trump credit for the vaccine and say Biden only enacted what Trump, what Trump put into place, which is not true. But hey, why not that be your line if you're still scared or you're still trying to appeal to the, anti-science MAGA hordes, right? We know who politicized this from jump. It was Trump. It was the guy who insisted on doing in-person rallies, who killed his own staffers. Herman Cain died, right? who killed people who were supporting him, who were putting their lives on the line to work for him and his reelection. And guess what? It cost him reelection. So, I mean, I'm one of the people who firmly believes that had Trump handled COVID-19 minimally better, I'm saying 15% better than he did, he might still be president right now. And that's incredibly horrifying to reckon with.
I 100% agree. The reason I wanted to play that video was who is this? This is Charlie Hurt. I understand that most people probably don't interpret what he said as squirrely and cowardly and stuff like that, but I can't help but see it as that. They have found this way. They know that they have developed a reputation as being anti-science, anti-education, prone to conspiracy theories, incurious, all of that. And so both on right-wing media and in conspiracy theory circles, they have sort of taken up as their armor, we do research, we have questions. The research never uncovers any facts, and they never ask the questions, but they like the wording of it. And so I have a challenge for Charlie Hurt, and more importantly for Fox News. I would like to ask you, how many months will you just keep saying that you have questions before you finally ask the questions? And more importantly than just asking the questions, if you're Tucker Carlson, why are you attacking us for asking questions every night? You're a grown man with a full staff on a multi-billion-dollar media network. You could have anyone come on. You could have Rochelle Zelensky, who's the head of the CDC. Yeah, you could have the head of the CDC on. You could have the heads of the companies that develop the vaccines. You could have the individual lab techs that produce the vaccines. You could have any number of representatives from the Biden administration. You could have Dr. Fauci on. You could have anyone that you want. You could ask any question that you want. It is odd, and I think noteworthy that you have spent more than half a year that the vaccine has been in circulation without ever articulating any questions. And so the challenge is not for them, they're grifters, they're lying to you. But if you are a right winger, perhaps you watch one of these shows, you know someone who does, ask them when they will finally expect questions to be answered. Not by MSNBC or CNN, they're never gonna trust that. But Fox exists for them, it's producing content for them. Why aren't they asking questions? Why aren't they producing anything or even appearing to want to after all of this time? It is so cowardly to continually say, why are you attacking us for our questions when you refuse to articulate what they actually are?
Yes, have Rochelle, and you know what? If you can't stand being part of the press pool, just have Rochelle Walensky on your show. She'll go on, she'll explain, fire all of your, partisan BS at her, all of your misinformation, ask the questions. Just straight up ask her anything you wanna ask her. Ask about masks, ask about the variant, ask about, the vaccines, ask about side effects, ask it's not bad to ask questions. I think it's good. We do need to normalize that. We shouldn't, just keep moving. No, we're learning about this virus every single day. So yeah, experts should be asked questions. Fox News doesn't have questions. They've got platitudes.
They do. They have a mission. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.